When I found out about my wife's affair with a married man, I decided to tell his unsuspecting wife. And what started as disclosure ended in her bed. It was revenge on both of them at the same time. Me, Benjamin Carter, 31 years old, made the trip to Minneapolis to surprise my wife Lisa. She's at some business conference. But let's be real. Something's been off in our marriage for the past few months. Every training session or conference she goes to feels sketchy. Tonight I couldn't take it anymore. Had to face these doubts head on. Been married to Lisa for 15 years. Have 2 amazing kids. Matthew is 11 and Ashley is 9. They're staying with my mom while I play detective. Got married right after graduating high school. We were high school sweethearts. Lisa's always been gorgeous. Long auburn hair, athletic build, the kind of woman who turns heads wherever she goes. Used to think our marriage was solid as a rock, but lately things started feeling different. Little changes in how she acts, couldn't ignore them anymore. Didn't want to bring it up before. Worried I'd sound like some paranoid freak. This conference was only a 2-hour drive away. Perfect chance to show up unexpected. Maybe finally get some answers. Walk into the Marriott lobby. Heart's practically jumping out of my chest. Head to the front desk. Try to keep my voice steady. Hi, I'm Benjamin Carter. Tell them Lisa's here for the marketing conference. Room 317. Receptionist asks for ID. Hands shaking while I pull out my driver's license. She confirms the room number. Get in the elevator. Anxiety hits me like a truck. Mind's racing with all sorts of scenarios. What if I catch her? What would I even say? Should I knock or just walk in? What if she's got the safety latch on? Or worse, what if she's not alone? What if she's not even there? Reach her floor. Decide to keep it simple. Just slide the key card in. Deal with whatever happens next. Try to be quiet as I unlock the door. Push it open slowly. Lisa's at the desk when I walk in. Her briefcase is open. Papers spread everywhere. She turns around when she hears me. Jesus Christ, Benjamin, you nearly gave me a heart attack. What are you doing here? Try to sound casual. Hey, honey, had some free time. Thought I'd surprise you, maybe take you to dinner. Her face softens. Walks over to give me a kiss. Well, aren't you full of surprises? You're staying the night, right? Could really use some company. Says it with this smile that makes me feel like an idiot. My whole plan to catch her cheating just went up in smoke. She seems genuinely happy to see me. Maybe I was wrong about everything. How about some fun before dinner? Try to lighten the mood. She laughs and walks past me. Let me shower first. But hey, let's talk for a bit before I hop in. After dinner, we'll have all night for whatever you want. Starts undressing right in front of me. Clothes hitting the floor without a care. Gives me this sly grin. Gets frisky for a minute. Then heads to the bathroom. Feel relieved for a moment. Maybe I let paranoia get the better of me. Love this woman more than anything. Can't stand the thought of losing her. While she's in the shower, sit on the bed, heads pounding from the long drive. Go check her toiletry bag for some painkillers. That's when everything changes. Find something in the side pocket. Makes my stomach drop. Pack of 6 condoms. Freeze up completely. Mind starts racing. Lisa got her tubes tied after Ashley was born. Pills made her sick. Haven't needed protection for years. No pills. No condoms. Nothing. So why the hell are these in her bag? Reality hits me like a sledgehammer. I'm not being paranoid. Lisa really is cheating. Heart's in pieces. Hands won't stop shaking. Sitting there staring at the evidence. Don't know what to do next. Want to confront her. Want to throw these in her face? Demand answers. But something holds me back. Feel paralyzed. My whole world just crashed down. No idea how to handle this. Find a couple of safety pins in her toiletry case. Must keep them for clothing emergencies. Get this crazy idea. Pretty petty and impulsive, I'll admit. Take one of the pins. Carefully poke a hole through the center of each condom. Put them back exactly as I found them. Part of me feels vindicated. Like I'm taking some silent stand against her betrayal. She's still in the shower. Completely unaware. Need an exit strategy. Grab my phone and call my best friend Charlie. Try to keep my voice low. Hey Charlie, it's Benjamin. Need a favor. Call me in about an hour. Tell me there's an emergency. Say there's a burst pipe at the school or something. I'll handle the details on my end. Just need an excuse to leave. He gets it right away. You got it, man. I'll call around 7. Hang in there, buddy. Feel a bit better having a plan. Don't want to stay the night anymore. Actually regret getting intimate with her earlier. Feels wrong now, like I'm betraying myself. Need the drive home to clear my head? Figure out what to do next. Lisa finally comes out of the bathroom, wrapped in a towel. Hair still wet and shining. Takes everything I have not to confront her. The anger's just below the surface. Want her to feel even a fraction of this pain, but I keep my cool. Always prided myself on staying calm. No matter what life throws at me, plus it's smarter not to show my hand. At least not yet. By the time we get to the hotel restaurant, I'm in a deep funk. Try to hide it behind a fake smile. Look over the menu together. Order anything you want, honey. It's on the company card. I'm not that hungry, Lisa says casually. Think I'll just have the small fettuccine. Sounds good. I'll have the same. How about a bottle of rosé to go with it? Waiter takes our order and leaves. Awkward silence follows. Can't help myself. Have to probe a little. Lisa, are you happy with how things are between us? Try to keep my voice steady. She smiles, but it doesn't reach her eyes. Of course I am. We have a beautiful home, 2 amazing kids, and a husband who loves me. What more could I possibly want? I don't know. Try to sound casual. Just wonder sometimes if I'm doing enough to keep you happy. You're such an incredible woman, Lisa. Sometimes I feel like I don't deserve you, like I have to pinch myself to believe this life is real. She laughs softly, brushes off my words. Oh, Benjamin, you're such a silly goose. That's why you drove all the way here, isn't it? To make sure I'm happy? Maybe. My smile feels forced. Well, you don't have to worry about a thing. She leans in slightly. I'm happy and content. You're doing just fine. A woman couldn't ask for a better husband than you. Waiter brings our meals. Conversation shifts to small talk. Nothing important, just filler to pass the time. Inside I'm screaming, but keep it hidden behind polite nods. Occasional laughter. Just as we finish eating, plates being cleared. My phone rings. Get up and head to the lobby to take the call. It's Charlie, right on time. Find a couple of safety pins in her toiletry case. Must keep them for clothing emergencies. Get this crazy idea. Pretty petty and impulsive, I'll admit. Take one of the pins. Carefully poke a hole through the center of each condom. Put them back exactly as I found them. Part of me feels vindicated, like I'm taking some silent stand against her betrayal. She's still in the shower, completely unaware. Need an exit strategy? Grab my phone and call my best friend Charlie. Try to keep my voice low. Hey Charlie, it's Benjamin. Need a favor? Call me in about an hour. Tell me there's an emergency. Say there's a burst pipe at the school or something. I'll handle the details on my end. Just need an excuse to leave. He gets it right away. You got it, man. I'll call around 7. Hang in there, buddy. Feel a bit better having a plan. Don't want to stay the night anymore. Actually regret getting intimate with her earlier. Feels wrong now. Like I'm betraying myself. Need the drive home to clear my head? Figure out what to do next. Lisa finally comes out of the bathroom, wrapped in a towel, hair still wet and shining. Takes everything I have not to confront her. The anger's just below the surface. Want her to feel even a fraction of this pain? But I keep my cool. Always prided myself on staying calm, no matter what life throws at me. Plus, it's smarter not to show my hand. At least not yet. By the time we get to the hotel restaurant, I'm in a deep funk. Try to hide it behind a fake smile. Look over the menu together. Order anything you want, honey. It's on the company card. I'm not that hungry, Lisa says casually. Think I'll just have the small fettuccine. Sounds good? I'll have the same. How about a bottle of rosé to go with it? Waiter takes our order and leaves. Awkward silence follows. Can't help myself. Have to probe a little. Lisa, are you happy with how things are between us? Try to keep my voice steady. She smiles, but it doesn't reach her eyes. Of course I am. We have a beautiful home, 2 amazing kids, and a husband who loves me. What more could I possibly want? I don't know. Try to sound casual. Just wonder sometimes if I'm doing enough to keep you happy. You're such an incredible woman, Lisa. Sometimes I feel like I don't deserve you. Like I have to pinch myself to believe this life is real. She laughs softly, brushes off my words. Oh, Benjamin, you're such a silly goose. That's why you drove all the way here, isn't it? To make sure I'm happy? Maybe. My smile feels forced. Well, you don't have to worry about a thing. She leans in slightly. I'm happy and content. You're doing just fine. A woman couldn't ask for a better husband than you. Waiter brings our meals. Conversation shifts to small talk. Nothing important. Just filler to pass the time. Inside I'm screaming, but keep it hidden behind polite nods. Occasional laughter. Just as we finish eating. Plates being cleared. My phone rings. Get up and head to the lobby to take the call. It's Charlie, right on time. 2 days later, Lisa comes home. She's practically glowing, like some giddy teenager. She's clearly in high spirits, only fuels my anger more. Check her toiletry bag later. When she's not looking, of the 6 condoms I messed with, 5 are gone. The one remaining still has the hole I poked. Saturday rolls around. Time for the company picnic. At least the kids will have some fun. Can't say the same for myself. Just thinking about being surrounded by Lisa's co-workers makes my stomach turn. Can't help but feel like some of them might know. Try to keep a low profile. Blend into the background. Don't want to become the subject of whispered jokes or knowing smirks. Maybe I'm being paranoid, but feels like everyone's in on the joke except me. Lisa's having a grand time though, laughing and chatting with everyone, especially Andrew. They're not being overly touchy, but their connection is obvious, like the rest of the world doesn't exist. Meanwhile, I'm left standing awkwardly. On the sidelines, forgotten and ignored, which suits me just fine. Hi, I'm Grace Parker. You must be Benjamin Carter. A voice snaps me out of my thoughts. Turn to see this woman. Could have stepped straight out of a magazine cover. Long copper hair, deep green eyes, perfect figure. Though she's quite petite, can't help but feel puzzled. This is Andrew's wife. How could a guy with a wife like her even think about cheating? Oh, sorry. Stammer a bit. You caught me daydreaming. It's nice to meet you. Likewise, she gives me this polite smile. Would you mind if we stepped away to talk? Somewhere quieter, without all the noise and kids running around. Sure. More curious than anything. Let's head down to the lake. Nobody will miss me. Me either, she replies. Walk to a bench by the water, good distance from the picnic crowd. It's peaceful here. Sound of the lake gently lapping against the shore. We sit down. Turn to her. So what's on your mind? Grace hesitates, clearly struggling to find the right words. This is hard for me, she begins. I don't know how to say it. It's such a delicate subject. Her hesitation gives her away. She knows. Decide to make it easier for her. Are you talking about the affair between Andrew and my wife? Ask with calm voice, but heavy with emotion. Because I just found out about it this week. She lets out this breath of relief. Yes, I've known for about 2 months now. I'm getting ready to serve Andrew with divorce papers. But I need some help. Help? What kind of help? Ask while frowning. I hired a private investigator to gather evidence. She explains, I've got photos and recorded phone conversations, but my lawyer says the case would be stronger if Lisa were willing to testify, or at least sign a notarized statement, admitting to the affair. Photos, recordings, repeat, heart sinking. What kind of proof are we talking about? I have pictures of them together. Being affectionate, she hesitates on the word. The phone recordings are conversations between them. I don't have any video footage yet, but the photos are pretty damning. Stare at the lake. Try to process everything. This is the confirmation I didn't want, but desperately needed. Grace's revelation leaves me with mixed feelings. No, I have to act. I have some dates and times I remember. Tell her. Not sure how helpful they'll be, but I'll work on piecing things together. Do you think your lawyer could help me draft divorce papers? Using some of the evidence you've gathered. I'd really appreciate it. Don't have anything concrete on my own. Grace nods. That shouldn't be a problem. I'm also suing Meridian Corp. She adds, tone firm. I've got statements proving certain higher-ups knew about the affair and turned a blind eye. They'll either fire both of them or face a $1 million lawsuit. They won't get away with this. Can't help but feel impressed by her resolve. Wow. Say it out loud. You're not holding back. She smiles faintly. Andrew's playing golf tomorrow morning. Why don't you come by my house around mid-morning? He'll be gone until late afternoon, so we'll have plenty of time. I can show you everything I've collected. Maybe we can figure out a plan. Sound good? I reply. Where do you live? 206 Maple Grove Drive in Riverside. Okay, say with a grin. It's a date. Well, not really a date, but you know what I mean. We both chuckle, for the first time in a while. Feel a little more at ease. As we walk back to the picnic area, notice no one has missed us. Somehow talking to Grace gives me hope. Maybe, just maybe, this mess could finally be resolved. Next morning, as expected, Lisa casually announces she has some shopping to do. We'll be out for a couple of hours. As soon as she leaves, drop the kids off at my mom's, head over to Grace's house in Riverside. She greets me at the door, leads me into the den. Space is warm and inviting. Leather couch, large computer monitor on the coffee table. On the screen is an image of an empty motel room. Make yourself comfortable, Grace says, motioning to the couch. I've got beer, soda, and wine. What's your poison? Just a regular soda, thanks. Cola if you have it. Reply while settling in. You've definitely got my attention. Care to explain what's going on? Grace smirks. In a few minutes, we'll be watching my dear husband play a round of golf. Live and in full color. But I think you're going to recognize his caddy. Her words make my stomach tighten. How in the world did you pull this off? It wasn't cheap. Cost me $2,400 to set everything up. But trust me, Andrew will be footing the bill for this little production, she says with a wry smile. It'll last about 2 hours, so get comfortable. I've got chips and pretzels if you're hungry. Oh, and I'll be getting a DVD of the whole thing. You're welcome to a copy. Laugh nervously. Honestly, I'm not sure I want to see this. But then again, I wouldn't miss it for the world. Let's get this show started. While we wait, Grace shows me all the evidence she's gathered. Photos, recorded conversations, documents. The sheer volume is overwhelming. The proof is damning. crushes me to see Lisa's betrayal laid out so clearly, but at the same time, it's a relief to know I hadn't been imagining things. I have to say, tell her, trying to lighten the mood, your backyard is incredible. Those water gardens are amazing. Would you mind if I brought the kids by sometime to see them? Grace seems genuinely pleased. I'd love that. They'd have a great time. Just then, the monitor flickers to life. As Grace predicted, Andrew and Lisa walk into the motel room. No hesitation, no small talk. They immediately start undressing. My chest tightens. Watch them get intimate. Video quality is excellent, though sound is a bit garbled. Not that it matters. What I see is more than enough. Grace breaks the silence with a dry comment. Well, you don't see a body like that every day. Force a faint smile, but don't reply. Watching my wife and Andrew like this, seeing her betrayal in such vivid detail, more than I can handle, my stomach churns. Feel like I might be sick. Finally speak up. I hate to interrupt the show, but do we really need to watch this? Grace turns to me, her expression soft. I take it this isn't something you want to see. Not really. Admit openly. To be honest, watching my wife with another man isn't exactly my idea of a good time. And well, sitting here with you while it's happening makes it even more awkward. She nods. Fair enough. But at least now you know the truth. And we've got it all on record. That was the silver lining, I suppose. The betrayal was undeniable. And the evidence was there. But knowing didn't make it hurt any less. We really don't need to sit through this. For the lawyers, honestly wasn't getting anything out of watching it anyway. Admit, trying to sound casual. The plot seems pretty predictable. Don't you think? Grace smirks. Are you planning to stick around? Or are you heading home? Well, say with a small grin. I was actually hoping you'd show me your water gardens. Think that'd be way more interesting than 2 hours of, well, you know. Her eyes light up instantly, clearly thrilled by my interest in her hobby. She jumps up eagerly. As we make our way to the backyard, can't help but hear the faint sounds of Lisa's performance reaching its peak. On the monitor, the irony hits me while she's chasing her highs. I'm about to have a more enjoyable and meaningful afternoon. Grace's water gardens are incredible. The 3 ponds are beautifully designed, with vibrant fish gliding gracefully through the water. Especially intrigued by the intricate pumping system. My years as an electrician before landing my job at the school come in handy here. Can't help but ask questions about how everything works. Andrew doesn't help you with this at all? Ask while noticing how meticulously maintained the setup is. No. Grace replies with a shrug. I've had to hire people to take care of the pipes and pumps. Andrew's not exactly handy. Well, if you ever need help with any of this, let me know. Offer sincerely. I'd be happy to come over, especially when Andrew's out golfing. Her smile widens. While I genuinely want to learn more about water gardens, can't deny that spending time with Grace is becoming a welcome distraction. The hours fly by. Before I know it, we're back inside. The monitor shows the motel room empty, which means Lisa and Andrew's little escapade is over. Time for me to head home as well. Let me know the next time Andrew's out golfing. Say as I grab my keys. I'll bring Matthew and Ashley along. They'd love to see the ponds. Grace seems delighted at the idea. I'd love that. They're welcome anytime. Over the next few weeks, life at home grows harder. Every time Lisa takes a shower, check her toiletry bag. Without fail, there's a fresh stash of condoms. Can't figure out how she's finding time to use so many. Becomes routine to pull out the safety pin. Now keep it on my keychain. Discreetly poke holes in them. Also bracing for the inevitable. Lisa suddenly announcing a surprise visit to her sister Karen after Andrew's golf outings. The kids tell Lisa all about their time with the garden lady, excitedly showing her pictures they've drawn of the fish, sharing the names they've come up with for each one. Lisa never seems particularly interested. She doesn't even realize that the garden lady is Andrew's wife. If anything, she seems relieved that I'm keeping the kids occupied. While she has her fun, twice more I try convincing her to quit her job. Stop seeing Andrew. Both times she brushes me off. The second time, her response is downright nasty. She lashes out with some cutting remarks about my masculinity. While they sting, they also make it easier to justify what I'm doing. Finally, on a Tuesday night, Lisa drops the bombshell I've been waiting for. Benjamin, she says, voice feigning exhaustion. I've been feeling really stressed out lately. I think I need to take a few days off work. Visit Karen for about a week. Do you think you could watch the kids? While I unwind a little, force a smile, hide the mix of anger and anticipation bubbling inside me. Hey, I understand. Say, keeping my tone calm and supportive. You've been putting in a lot of overtime and late nights. A trip to your sister's sounds like a great idea. Way better than ending up in a shrink's office. Go ahead and relax. I'll handle everything here. Lisa smiles, clearly relieved. I'm glad you understand. All the extra work is for the good of the family. But I think I might have overdone it. Nod, playing along. You deserve the break. That night's sleep doesn't come easy. Mind races with everything. Need to prepare for the next day. The time has finally come. Determined to see this through. Lisa's sister Karen and her husband Peter live about 3 hours away, while Lisa thinks she's heading off. For a relaxing escape, I have other plans. Peter's an okay guy, but he's one of those husbands who seem to exist solely to follow his wife's orders. If Karen says jump, Peter's already midair. Before she finishes the sentence, their dynamic isn't my business though. Always amused me how thoroughly she keeps him in line. What caught my interest about their town was that it had not one, but 2 women's health clinics. Of course I'd done my homework beforehand, had their names, addresses, operating hours memorized, carefully reviewed the policies for each one. Both clinics required a mandatory 2-day cooling off period, which meant the earliest Lisa could schedule. The procedure would be Friday. If her first appointment was on Wednesday, knowing Lisa, she'd likely want to get it over with as quickly as possible, giving herself a few days to recover. Before heading back home, that left me about a day and a half to get my plans in order. Plenty of time. Once Lisa left for her so-called rest and recuperation trip, gotta work. First, had to swallow my pride, explain the situation to my folks. Admitting that I'd failed as a husband wasn't easy, but they were understanding, offered their full support. Dad even offered up his truck, which would be a huge help. For moving Lisa's things out of the house, the kids were thrilled. To spend time with their grandparents, oblivious to the storm brewing. Behind the scenes, meanwhile, the lawyer assured me all the divorce paperwork would be ready for pickup Thursday morning. Grace had also finalized her papers. We planned to serve Lisa and Andrew simultaneously, despite everything. Part of me felt I owed Lisa one last chance to come clean and make things right. Wasn't holding my breath, though. Dad and I spent the rest of the day packing up Lisa's belongings, box after box. Feel the weight of the situation sink in, but it also gives me a strange sense of clarity. Thursday morning, after a long 3-hour drive, arrive at the first clinic. It's a dead end, no sign of Lisa there. That leaves one last option, the Wellspring Women's Center. Walk into the clinic, doing my best to appear calm and confident. The receptionist looks up with a polite smile. Hi, how can I help you? Clear my throat and say, Hi, my name is Benjamin Carter. My wife Lisa said I needed to come in and sign some kind of consent form. Her brow furrows slightly. What kind of form? I'm not sure of the exact name, reply, keeping my voice steady. It's the one that confirms I understand what's happening, that I agree to it, and won't take legal action or anything like that. Hold on a moment, she says, typing something into her computer. Lisa Carter, right? Yes, say, bracing myself. Do you need any ID or anything? She shakes her head. No, your sister-in-law already signed for her, but your signature would be better. Let me grab the file. Jackpot, heart pounding as she places the form on the counter in front of me. Just sign here below Karen's signature, she says, pointing to the line. As I sign, eyes scan the paperwork. There it is. Her procedure is scheduled for Friday morning at 11:30 a.m. with instructions to arrive an hour early. Do we owe anything else on this? Ask casually, pulling out my checkbook, placing it on the counter. No, she replies, shaking her head. Your wife already paid the full amount, $2,100 in cash. Nothing else is due at this time. Thanks a lot, say with a smile. You've been really helpful. I appreciate it. Walking out of the clinic, feel a grim sense of satisfaction. Now I know exactly where she'll be. And when, later that afternoon, arrive at Karen and Peter's place, bracing myself for the inevitable theatrics. Sure enough, Lisa greets me with over-the-top enthusiasm. So fake, it's almost laughable. Benjamin, this is a wonderful surprise, she exclaims, plastering on her best smile. What are you doing here? Shrug, playing it cool. Well, Mom and Dad wanted to keep the kids for a few days, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to visit. Her eyes flicker with something. Nervousness, maybe. But she quickly masks it with another phony grin. That's great. I'm so glad you came. Her reaction only confirms what I already know. Lisa wasn't expecting me. That makes me even more determined to see this through. I decided to take some sick leave and pop in on you guys, say while leaning back in my chair. I guess you could say I needed to unwind a little too. The room goes eerily quiet. Can almost see the gears turning in everyone's heads as they scramble to figure out how to handle my unexpected visit. I'd caught them off guard. Now they're struggling to smooth it over. Karen gives Peter a pointed look, nodding toward the kitchen. Taking the cue, he follows her out, leaving Lisa and me alone. Lisa tries to keep the conversation light, babbling on about nothing in particular, but I can tell she's uneasy. After a few minutes, Peter returns with an overly enthusiastic grin, plastered on his face. "Benjamin, I've got a great idea," he announces. "I can take the day off tomorrow. And my buddy Vincent has a boat we can borrow. We'll head out early. Spend the whole day on the lake. That way, we won't be bothering the ladies." "What do you think, buddy?" "That sounds perfect, Peter." Reply matching his enthusiasm. "A day drifting on the lake. Sounds like just what I need. To forget all my worries. Go ahead and see if Vincent's available." Peter's shoulders visibly relax. The tension in the room eases as everyone breathes a collective sigh of relief. Crisis averted. We have an uneventful dinner that evening, filled with idle chatter. Spend the rest of the night lounging around. Unsurprisingly, there's no intimacy with Lisa. She wouldn't risk it. With her sister in the house. The next morning, Vincent is out front with the boat, while Peter's busy in the kitchen, packing a cooler with beer, prepping lunch. As they load up the truck, Peter turns to me. "Aren't you getting in?" he asked, nodding toward the passenger door. "No, Peter," say calmly, standing firm by the truck. "I've decided not to go, but I suggest you make the most of the day, because I don't think you're going to want to face Karen for the next few hours." Confused, Peter tries to argue. "Come on, Benjamin, it'll be fun. Just get in the truck. You'll forget whatever's bothering you." His persistence grates on me. Have to get blunt. "Peter, say firmly, I'm not going. Now get in the damn truck and go fishing, or I'll make sure you regret sticking around." Throw in a couple of choice expletives and a subtle threat for good measure. Peter's eyes widen. He finally gets the hint, with Vincent looking equally bewildered. The two of them drive off. Pour myself a fresh cup of coffee. Settle into the kitchen. Pick up Karen's cell phone. Turn it off. Clear her missed calls. Then grab the landline. Call my dad. He's always an early riser. Talking to him helps settle my nerves. We chat for a couple of hours, catching up on life, laughing about old memories. Meanwhile, the call waiting tone chimes at least half a dozen times. Figure it's Peter trying to get through to Karen, probably desperate for her to cool down. But Karen's in for a rude awakening herself. By the time I hang up, Lisa and Karen are finally up and moving. Make a fresh pot of coffee. Prepare for the inevitable showdown. Their appointment at Wellspring is in less than 2 hours. Know I'm about to face two very pissed off women. Lisa comes into the kitchen, her eyes wide with shock. "Benjamin, what the hell are you doing here?" She stammers. "Take a sip of my coffee." Staying calm. "I didn't feel like going fishing." Reply nonchalantly. "I figured I'd just hang out with you and Karen today. Maybe we could grab lunch somewhere nice. Before I head back tonight, I didn't want to waste the day on some stinky old boat." Lisa's face freezes, her composure slipping. No, that won't work," she stammers. "Karen and I already have plans for today. Just the two of us. I mean, we don't get to see each other that often. And we had some things we wanted to do." Smile, feigning innocence. "Come on, Lisa. I drove all the way down here. Surely you can spare half a day for me. You've got the whole rest of the week to do your girly stuff with Karen." Karen, clearly rattled, grabs her phone, rushes out of the room, furiously dialing as she goes. Lisa slumps into a chair, looking like she'd just been hit by a truck. From the next room, we can hear Karen screaming at Peter. Over the phone, her shrill voice carrying through the house, as if he'd committed some unforgivable crime. Can't help but feel a twinge of pity for the guy. But hey, he'd married her. Lisa finally turns to me, her frustration bubbling to the surface. "Benjamin, I really don't want to get nasty about this, but Karen and I don't want you tagging along today. Can't you just let us have this time to ourselves?" Her tone is sharp, but I'm not about to back down. Lean forward, ready for the next round. "We've got our whole day planned out, and it doesn't include you," Lisa says, crossing her arms. "Okay," reply, leaning back casually. "Then why don't you tell me exactly what you've got planned? If I don't like it, I'll find something else to do." "But I still don't get it. You've got the entire week here, and I've only got today. You girls aren't meeting up with a couple of guys, are you?" Lisa's face turns red with frustration. "No, damn it. We're not meeting any guys. We just wanted to do some shopping. For intimate stuff. Bras, underwear, sexy nightgowns. You know, the kind of things we don't want you guys around gawking at while we try them on." Raise an eyebrow. "Well, most of those shops are in the mall, right? I can keep myself busy. While you're in the dressing rooms, I'll just tag along and stay out of your way. You don't need to entertain me. When it's lunchtime, I'll even take you both somewhere fancy. To make up for all the trouble I'm causing." Karen has appeared in the doorway, arms crossed, glaring at me with a look that could cut steel. She doesn't say a word, but her presence is enough to let me know how furious she is. Lisa realizes I'm not going to budge, sighs heavily, finally stands up. "Fine. I have to go get dressed, she mutters as she walks out of the room. Karen shoots me a pointed look, as if trying to size me up. Really? Her expression seems to ask, just smile back at her, a wide grin spreading across my face. She rolls her eyes, follows Lisa upstairs. About 20 minutes later, the light on the landline phone lights up. Someone upstairs is making a call. Bet my life it would be to Wellspring. They're probably trying to reschedule the appointment. The clock is ticking. They have less than an hour to get there. Figure if they try to leave without me, I'll just follow them. Make it clear I'm not going anywhere. Not that I think they'd be bold enough to try that. Another 20 minutes pass before Lisa and Karen come back down the stairs. Lisa has a forced smile plastered on her face. Okay, Benjamin, let's go shopping. Her tone is laced with attitude. But I don't care. I've already won this round. It was easier than I expected. That upstairs phone call had likely been to reschedule the appointment. For after I left, they must have decided the best way to deal with me was to play along until I was out of the picture. I wasn't trying to stop Lisa from going through with the procedure. My goal was just to make it harder for her. I'll drive, announce, grabbing my keys. There's no way I'm letting them ditch me somewhere far from the house. At the gas station, take my sweet time filling the tank, checking the oil, topping off the water, even cleaning the windshield. It's probably the most thorough I've ever been with my car. Lisa and Karen sit in silence, fuming in the passenger seats. When we get to the mall, park far away, ensuring we have a nice long walk. Once inside, give them space, keeping an eye on them from a distance. Honestly, don't care what they're buying. It's all just a charade anyway. They're not having any fun though. Can tell from the way they whisper to each other, make sharp gestures every now and then. They buy something, probably to keep up appearances. The clock keeps ticking, can see the frustration on their faces. As the time for the appointment comes and goes, I've succeeded in delaying the inevitable. I wasn't going to interfere any further. Knew Lisa would still go through with it eventually, but felt good knowing I'd thrown a wrench into their plans for the day. Around noon, we meet back at the center of the mall. As agreed, take them to Romano's for lunch. It's a quiet meal, filled with strange silences and awkward tension. The drive back to the house is equally uneventful, but I can't stop smiling. They hate me, and I couldn't have cared less. It's a glorious feeling. Back at the house, grab a beer from the fridge, sprawl out on the sofa. Savoring the small victory, Peter finally stumbles back home. For the next half hour, Karen lets him have it. She berates him relentlessly, tearing into him with a verbal assault. That has him squirming like a trapped animal. Eventually, he manages to weasel his way out, muttering something about needing to clear his head. He disappears for a couple of hours, but makes it back just in time for supper, looking thoroughly defeated. After the dishes are cleared and the girls finish cleaning up, turn to Karen and Peter. Would you mind if Lisa and I had a moment to talk privately in the kitchen? Ask, keeping my tone polite. Karen shoots me one of her signature sneers, but doesn't argue. She grabs Peter by the arm. The two of them retreat to the living room. Lisa, still visibly upset with me over the day's events, sits down across from me at the kitchen table. Can feel the tension radiating off her. This isn't going to be an easy conversation. First thing, begin, steadying my voice. I'd like to ask you one more time, Lisa. Will you please quit your job? And stop seeing Andrew Parker. Her jaw tightens. Can see her barely holding back her fury. Damn it, Benjamin, she snaps. I don't want to hear that ever again. I'm sick of you bringing it up. I refuse to waste my time answering you anymore. You already know the answer. It's the same as it's always been. And it's not going to change. So either play a new tune or get the hell out of here. Sigh, reaching for the manila envelope I'd placed by my chair, pulling out a stack of legal papers. Lay them on the table. Okay, Lisa, say calmly, I've asked you at least 10 times over the past 2 months, and every time you've refused, you've left me no choice. Push the papers toward her. These are divorce papers. All you need to do is sign them and mail them back. There's even a self-addressed stamped envelope included. If you'd rather have a lawyer look them over first, be my guest. Her glare intensifies as she leans across the table. You dumb son of a, she hisses. You think you can divorce me just because I won't quit my job or hang out with the friends you approve of? Newsflash, Benjamin. You don't have grounds for divorce. None. I'm your wife, and I'm not giving up my home or my family just because you can't handle where I work. So why don't you go home and get your __ together? Keep my composure, even as she lashes out. I thought you might say that, reply quietly, pulling out a second stack of papers from the envelope. This time they're not legal documents. They're photos. Place 6 pictures on the table, each one showing Lisa in a compromising position with Andrew. Did you have sex with him? Ask, my voice steady. Lisa says nothing, but her face pales. Lay down another set of photos, this time of them having sex. In various positions, Lisa's eyes widen in shock and anger as I spread out even more pictures. "Stop it, damn it, Benjamin, just stop it," she screams, her voice trembling. "Okay, I get it. You've been spying on me. You're a sneaky son of a __. Do you know that? If you knew something was going on, why didn't you confront me like a man? No, instead you slither around and take pictures. Like some kind of perverted creep. You make me sick. With your wimpy complaining." At that moment, my phone buzzes. Glance at the screen. "Hi, Dad. Yeah, 10 minutes is perfect. Thanks for the call." "Say, hanging up?" Lisa's head snaps up. "What was that about?" she demands. "That was my dad." Say, my tone calm and deliberate. "He's bringing your things here. To Karen's place. He'll be here in about 10 minutes. The locks have already been changed. On the house? If there's anything we forgot to pack, just let me know, and I'll get it to you." Lisa stares at me speechless, her face a mix of anger and disbelief. Continue sliding another envelope. Across the table. "Here's the title to your car. I signed it over to you. Inside this envelope is half the money from our joint accounts, $145,000. I've also arranged visitation rights for you to see the kids once a week, with an overnight stay once a month. If you're willing to sign a notarized statement attesting to your affair, I'm sure you understand why this is non-negotiable." She opens her mouth to respond, but hold up a hand. "Oh, and one more thing. Before I go, say pulling a DVD out of the manila envelope. I've got one more thing to show you. This is a little keepsake from your visit to the Riverside Inn with Andrew on June 10th. It's 2 hours long and captures everything that's in those photos. Just in case you wanted a reminder of all the fun you had, pick up the stack of photos. Tuck them back into the envelope. By the way," continue, my voice calm but cutting, "I didn't take any of these. I just didn't appreciate being made to look like a fool." Finally reach for the safety pin on my keychain. Slide it across the table. "Oh, and I want you to have this as a little memento of our love." She furrows her brow, picking it up cautiously. "What the hell is this?" "That," say with a smirk, "is the pin I used to poke tiny holes in all your condoms for the past 2 months. Did you know you've gone through 48 rubbers in the last 2 weeks alone?" Good old Andrew was getting more action than I ever dreamed of. He's a lucky guy. Her face twists with rage. "You miserable little weasel. That's the most despicable." Cut her off. "No, Lisa. The most despicable thing is having sex with someone who isn't your spouse. I may be a bastard, but at least I wasn't cheating. Oh, and by the way, in case you didn't notice, you never once apologized for what you did or said you were sorry. Honestly, I don't think you deserve to be married to me." Stand up and grab my envelope. "Goodbye, Lisa. Enjoy your appointment on Monday." Her composure cracks. She finally starts crying. Turn and walk out of the room. Without looking back, Karen runs in to console her. Peter follows me onto the porch, his face pale and drawn. "What the hell are you doing, man?" Peter asks, grabbing my arm. "You and Lisa have been married for 15 years. You can't just throw that away over a misunderstanding." "A misunderstanding?" Shot back, my voice dripping with disbelief. "Why do you think Lisa came down here? To visit you and Karen, Peter?" Peter hesitates, looking down at his feet like a scolded child. I don't know. Sorry, Benjamin. Let me help you unload the truck." We work silently, unloading the truck. In about 10 minutes, Lisa's wailing echoes from the kitchen. The entire time, but I don't care. Don't even know what she's crying about. And to be honest, it doesn't matter to me anymore. The fallout is swift. The next week, both Andrew and Lisa are fired from Meridian Corps. Lisa refuses to sign an affidavit, admitting to the affair, but my lawyer assures me we have enough evidence without it. After that night, don't hear a word from my loving wife. She doesn't even come to see the kids, though they don't seem to mind. They're building a strong bond with Grace, who treats them with warmth and genuine affection. Over the next few months, we spend a lot of time with Grace, learning about water gardens and enjoying the simple joys of life. There are no romantic entanglements or inappropriate discussions. We're both determined to avoid complicating our respective divorces. After 4 months, both divorces are finalized. Lisa's case is uncontested, while Andrew's turns into a bitter fight. He loses the house, most of his investments, and is saddled with hefty monthly alimony payments. Shortly before Christmas, Lisa shows up at my house with gifts for the kids. She stays for about 2 hours, maintaining a polite, distant demeanor. Keep the peace, avoiding any mention of the divorce or her affair. She leaves quietly, We haven't spoken about the past since. Not long after, put the house up for sale. 2 months later, the kids and I move in with Grace. Meanwhile, Andrew finds a job in Cleveland, and Lisa follows him. But their reunion is short-lived. 4 months later, Andrew disappears without a trace, leaving Lisa stranded. And scrambling for answers, Lisa moves back in with Karen after Peter left for a job on an offshore oil rig. 2 months later, Karen receives divorce papers in the mail. It seems the sisters were destined to lean on each other in their shared misfortune. As for Grace and me, our bond has grown into something special. She adores the kids, and they love her right back. We found a sense of peace and stability together, and we're now preparing for our wedding in July. The kids are excited, and we're all looking forward to our new life as a family. Eerily enough, can't help but anticipate our honeymoon. It feels like the perfect beginning to a brighter future.